Fundraiser Calculator. Another calculator here. Another set of tasks. I'm going to walk through it, show you your task, and you're going to get these notes. Obviously, the code's going to be uploaded so you can use it to complete your task. So here we go. First is the main method. Just like before in the interest calculator, we have another calculator here. We're doing donations. Slightly different, same idea. After you get the code, you're going to make this main. You're going to make the Fundraiser GUI and the Fundraiser calculator. And I'll walk through each one for you just now. So that's the main. Nothing's going to be done here. It's ready to go. It's the unit 10. The GUI, it's already done. So we have all the components that we're going to use. Pretty small, pretty simple. We have the create user interface already done. We also have all the methods. These are all old. Nothing here is new. Actually, the spinner that was in the previous one is not here. We just have text fields and labels and buttons, the basic stuff. Of course, scrolling down, I'm looking at all the setups. These are nothing new here. It's a fundraiser, so we're trying to raise some funds. At the bottom, there's an extra credit. And this time I'm talking about the last time we had an extra credit. We had an extra credit to take out the calculation. Now I'm wondering, can we take out all the listeners? All the listeners and event handlers, event key, event this, event that, event. Can we take them out? That's going to be your extra credit. Okay. What that means is, can you make another class that will be doing this job for us? Why? Because when we do that, you realize now that the GUI is only going to have the GUI stuff. And I know you might be wondering, what about the arrows? More on that later as we go through the course. But right now, if we could take this out of the GUI, now the GUI would have only set up the things you're going to see, which is the way it's supposed to be. It's exactly what it's supposed to be. The GUI has the components you're going to see on the screen, and the other stuff is going to be in a different class. Which reminds me to get to the Fundraiser calculator. All right, now this has a lot here, so at this point, I'm going to walk through the tasks, and I'll go back and forth to show you what I mean. So first, the tasks are very straightforward in the sense that they are all listed here. And when you download this stuff from online, you'll get all the tasks right in the Fundraiser calculator. So first task, create a global variable that holds the total amount donated and update this variable every time a donation is made. So when we make a donation, you're going to have to add it on to this variable so that the variable gets updated. Now this is up to you in terms of how you want to go about and do that, but we're going to do that in here. The second one here is to complete the methods below. So you got to look at these methods, look at the little nice piece of information here, all nice commented. So you're going to return the operating cost and the total cost raised after the operating cost is deducted. That's these two. Okay, these two methods right here. And then the last one here is to calculate the donation and fill the text field. Whoa, look at that one. We are calculating and we are sending the information back to the GUI so that these text fields get updated. Okay, that's nice. So he's gonna do all our calculations for us. That's the calculator's job, to calculate. You see this return 0, this is gonna be obviously changed because you're gonna write your code in here to perform this action. Same here. I don't have anything here to return because it's void. The next task is to update the Fundraiser GUI class so that all possible errors are caught and reported to the user. So let's go back. See, I have a nice little error method here. I want you to use it. Okay, you're going to use this error method. What type of errors you could get? Well, the person entered something that's incorrect, like they tried to spell their names. Now we need money. It needs to be a number. They tried to put in a letter, or they tried to put in negative amounts. These things are going to get caught and explain to the user that no, that's not allowed in terms of an input. The next task is to complete the calculate, shouldn't say calculate, but should say create calculate action listener method in the GUI class. So we got to go back again. I'm going to find that. This guy right here. Okay. This is the guy that should have your try and catch, stuff like that. And your error handling should be handled right here, because when the person clicks the button, this fires off. So we want to make sure we're telling the user whether they're entering something correct or incorrect right here. That's the fourth one. The fifth one, as we've seen before, extra credit. Look at how fancy I'm writing this. Create a class that encapsulates all listeners and event handlers. What? It encapsulates? That was some earlier on, right? This is the entire class. This class is encapsulating the calculations. Let that one sink in. The Fundraiser class is encapsulating in blocks all the methods necessary to calculate, plus a private variable here, which is global. See? Global variable. We need another one as well. So we have this global variable here that's encapsulated, and we have three methods that are encapsulated. Can you go to the GUI class, scroll all the way down, find the extra credit note, and encapsulate this stuff in another class? That's the extra credit. So let's look it over again. 5 tasks. Create the global variable that holds the total amount. Update it when the donations are made. Complete the methods below. You're going to do this and this. And of course, I didn't write this one. This one is also here to be done. I don't have this as part of the specs here. So all the methods here. These two are the ones where you're going to actually do some calculations here. This one is going to update the text fields with these calculations. So we got to be thinking about that one. The Fundraiser GUI, errors, catch them. Tell the user when they're making them. Calculate action listener. That's the guy who needs to be updated with your try and catch. Errors are going to be handled in there as well. And then finally, our extra credit. So what I'm going to do now is run the app, let you get a peek in terms of how it looks, and then see what I mean when all these pieces come together. So I'll go to the main, and I'm going to run it. So here's the app. Pretty simple app, like I said. So the idea of the app is you're going to enter an amount here. The key listener is already there. You can see how it deletes that. So if you want to make a donation of $500, you can hit donate, and it should update in the calculator the total amount. So right now it should be 500, and then we have the after expenses amount and the total raised. Okay, so what we have there is the total amount that you're raising and how much you have after expenses. So if you donate, nothing really happens right now because nothing is programmed yet, and that's for you to do. But that's the idea of the app. Pretty straightforward in terms of the interface and what's expected to be done. But we want to separate, keeping into that theme of separating things and keeping things nice and organized. That's the theme all the way till the end of school. Okay? So what we're going to do now is check out the task again after seeing this and see what all the pieces are going to do. So the calculator, these tasks, okay, that global variable that we were holding is going to be how much we raised, right? And these methods down here, calculating the operating expenses, how much are you going to take out of the donated amount? So this one here says it's 17% that goes to operating expenses. So this is saying 83% is going to be actually donated. Okay, so we want to make sure we make those things clear. Let me go ahead and look up here because I want to make sure that is absolutely clear. Complete the method below to return the operating cost, and the total raised after operating cost is deducted. So this is the total that's going to be raised after you deduct the expenses, and these are going to be the expenses. Okay, now we're not going to show the expenses, we're just going to show how much we actually raised in donation after we take out the amount that went to expenses. So now this guy is going to update the fields, and this is where you're going to be doing most of your work. But remember, we still have the GOI extra credit. Don't do the extra credit until you're absolutely finished with every other task. Okay, you're going to have to do this guy, and then after you're finished with this guy, you create the calculate listener here. Once you're finished doing that, the listener for the button, then you could go ahead and try the extra credit by taking this out and creating a class for it. Very last guy right here. Okay, so make sure you do them in that order. Make sure you do for 1 first, 2, then 3 and 4. The reason why I have them in this order is because this is the way you want to think about building the app. Okay, so there's this kind of like flow in terms of how you're building it. Okay, so that's it. That's the only thing we have to do for this unit, Fundraiser Calculator.